the 2026 NHL draft was this past weekend, but with everything else surrounding the Columbus Blue Jackets, the draft kind of got lost in the drama. The Blue Jackets selected 14th overall Oscar Hemming, a forward out of Boston College. There's already some discourse about whether this was the best pick for them or not, so I'm going to break down that discourse, talk about why this is a sneaky good pick for the Blue Jackets, and I'm also going to provide a major update about Adam Fantilli and his future with the Blue Jackets. So first things first, we're going to talk about Oscar Hemming. He is a 6'4", 200-pound forward. He's from Finland. He just got to Boston College from Finland this year, and he is only 17 years old. So he was 17 years old playing at Boston College in the NCAA. And he is a power forward that I'm super excited to have on the team. And it seems that is also echoed by Don Waddell himself, saying that he was higher on their list than anyone else. And they were worried that he was not going to be there at that 14th pick. He turns 18 in August, a big body we think is going to develop, and they're excited to have been able to draft him. And to the point where they had the opportunity to make some trades, and they determined that it wasn't worth it to them because they wanted Oscar Hemming. That was their guy. They got their guy, and I'm excited that he's our guy. He's going to be a sophomore at Boston College in the fall. Boston College, we know it's related to Johnny Gaudreau. I'm a Boston College fan and have been for most of my life, so I'm super excited that he plays there. I plan on, getting down to some games and seeing how he's developing myself. But then we're going to get to the discourse here, right? Is he good? Is he bad? Was this the right pick for them? Let's take a look. So, first of all, this is coming from the Prospect Dawn, talking about what kind of game Oscar Hemming plays. A hard physical game, nearly 3 hits a game, good hands, he's fast, he has skill. And then he also mentions how he was the youngest player in the NCAA and did not look like it. Now, this is important to note because Don Waddell said something very similar in a press conference about how he's so mature at age 17. He came from Finland. It's a huge move, and you can tell how mature he is, and it's going to be major for him when he is starting again in the fall for college, and that maturity, and as he continues to develop as well. Now, there's other people who are talking about maybe he was not the best pick, and that comes in here. He was ranked 28th overall by Top Down Hockey, and we selected him 14th. So maybe we kind of jumped the gun on that a little bit. Maybe we could have traded that pick, gotten the 21st pick or something like that, and still gotten him. 1 goal in 19 NCAA games, 8 points. It's not awful, but it appears to be a reach for his size. It sounds like a Debbie Downer, right? You're thinking, oh my gosh, he sucks. He's not good at college hockey. 8 points in 19 games is not bad, and he is 17 years old. So again, he has so much time for development. I'm going to pull up his stats to take a look and go over some of this information, right? So this isn't everything. This is just saying his season highs. He only had 1 goal. He had 2 assists in a game on February 2nd versus Harvard. Now, that might just seem like an arbitrary date to most people, but that is the day of the first day of the Beanpot. The Beanpot is a major tournament in Boston. All 4 Boston schools compete in that. That would be Northeastern, Harvard, Boston College, and Boston University. They face off against each other, and then the following week the losers play and the winners play, and there's this giant trophy that comes with it. There's a photo of Matthew and Johnny Gaudreau that floats around every so often, and that is the trophy in that picture. So the reason this is significant is because the Beanpot is a major tournament in Boston. It's a big deal for hockey fans in Boston. It doesn't mean much to others, but this is the main thing. You could lose every single game to that same team in the regular season, but for the Beanpot, if you win, it's a bigger deal. So it's a big showcase for young players to show off their talent. Johnny Gaudreau won the MVP for that tournament when he was playing at Boston College, and they actually won the Beanpot all 3 years he was there, and then they haven't won since. So it was a major deal for them to be able to win it this time around. Beside the point, it's a high pressure, high intensity environment. Okay, there's students from all of the schools, and they're booing and they're like jeering at each other and at the players, and it is hard. It's a hard place to play in that type of environment. It's also so many people. It's played in TD Garden, so it's around 17,000 people go to this every single year. Now, with that being said, moving on to the rest of the stats. Now, they're saying, okay, he only got 8 points in 19 games. But he's not at the bottom of the barrel. You can see here, he's in the middle of the pack in terms of points scored. So, there is some room for development. And I'm going to pull that graphic up later to make another point. But, yes, there's some room for development here. But he's 17. He's already in the middle of the pack. And I'm going to make a comparison to another player from Boston College who is also a power forward who started off worse. And I'll go from there. So Dean Letourneau, Bruins prospect. This is just a comparison. So 6'7", and 230 pounds, right? So he's another power forward. The reason I'm bringing this up is here are his stats from his freshman and sophomore year, right? His freshman year, his first year with the Eagles, 0 goals, 3 assists in 36 games. So Hemming already has more than that, right? In Dean Letourneau's second year, he had 22 goals and 17 assists. So he went from being one of the worst players on the Boston College Eagles to one of the best. And you can see this again in the same graphic that I showed earlier, where Dean Letourneau is now in this at the top. He is the second best player on the Eagles in that second year. So it just goes to prove that Boston College is great for developing young players like that. And this is a power forward specific example. And they will develop him so that he will be able to produce more next season. So don't write him off just yet. Keep an eye on his stats. If you're willing to watch Boston College to see how he's progressing, I think that's a good idea. And if you don't want to watch every Boston College game, just watch the Bean Pot, because that's going to be the highest intensity, fastest, most exciting time to watch the prospects play in that environment. Now, I'm not the only person who's excited about this, and I'm not the only person who's planning on welcoming him to the team with open arms. The other person would be none other than Adam Fantilli. In this picture, we can see him on a call with Oscar Hemming, congratulating him. This was tweeted out by the Blue Jackets, a congratulatory call from Mo. So obviously he's congratulating this kid on being a Blue Jacket. Why is this being brought up, you may ask? Sure. So the reason I'm talking about this is there has been a lot of confusion and kind of not knowing what's going on in terms of the leadership on the Blue Jackets. So obviously with Zach Werenski's rumors, we don't know where he's going to end up. That's one member of the leadership team that we're kind of not sure where he's going to be going. You know what I mean? Gabranson and Boone Jenner are two other people who are kind of, up in the air right now. So does this mean that Adam Fantilli will be moving into one of those leadership roles if he is given the opportunity this upcoming season? I hope that this is a sign pointing to that, right? I think he is a young player. I don't know if it would make sense to make him captain right away, but even an alternate captain would serve him a lot. And he has been a great role model for the team already. So I think that it is a good sign that he is being the one to make this call, congratulate, and welcome this kid to the Blue Jackets. So I'm excited that he is the one doing that, and I'm excited for this kid. He had his draft night was kind of exploited a little bit, but at least he got to have this call, and it should make fans feel a little bit better about the status of the leadership of the Blue Jackets and the status of Adam Fantilli as well. So make sure you comment below whether you think Adam Fantilli will be put in a leadership role next year, and I will keep you guys updated on all of this, prospects, trade rumors, and whatnot. So thank you so much for watching, and make sure you subscribe.